Welcome into Salt Lake City, Utah, where the Salt Lake Hornets have won all of their games at home, and they've only lost 2 games by a combined 6 points as they're taking on the New Orleans Claws. And the Claws look to spring one of the league's biggest upsets here in the UFL. Good evening, everyone. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Colin Wardrop, and joining me in the booth this week is Ramos Lynn. Hola!
Hola, Colin. Hey, it's great to call a game with you finally. It's been a while, at least a few years, maybe back from the SFL, but it's great to have you with me in the booth, buddy.
Thanks for showing me around the stadium here in Salt Lake. I know you're familiar with it. New Orleans to kick off first, and we'll get our first look at this Salt Lake Hornets offense. Jay Carter Ramos has been the key trigger man for this offense.
Yeah, this is a great Salt Lake team. I think Salt Lake at their best is maybe the best team in the UFL.
Play action to start the game, and the left-hander throws to the top of the field. Oh, what a catch! It's going to be a 28-yard gain to Adam West, the tight end, number 44.
Already, threatening with that run, clean pocket. I mean, no pressure on the quarterback, and that's an amazing throw and an even better catch for Salt Lake, already in New Orleans territory.
And now he's just showing up. Big number 44, the 6'4", 231-pound tight end. With the catch there, it'll be first down. Chris Allure is the back, number 12. Carter will fake to him again. Carter out to West again. It'll be a first down, this time at the 25.
Again, another play action throw and another clean pocket. I mean, nobody is even close to the quarterback here for New Orleans, and that's something they'll have to change. I mean, if it's not working with floor, they'll need to send some people on the pressure and send some blitzes.
He's got other targets too besides Adam West, the tight end, Alexander West, the wide receiver, DJ Barker, and Noah Neely, the other 2 notable ones. Are the receiving core for Jalen Carter, 8th-year man out of Alabama, 6 foot, 217 pounds. Will give off to Chris Allure, who explodes up the middle, and they'll say he gained a first down to the 15-yard line.
And always great to keep it balanced. It's always great to, sprinkle the run, especially when you're in the green zone inside the 30-yard line.
Oh, they say he didn't get the first down. He got 9.5. The ball's practically on the line to gain. They're going to run play action again. Throw to the end zone. Almost intercepted on the deflection out of the back of the end zone, Ramos. And some underrated pieces up front for Salt Lake on that offensive line.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And Colin, if you're going to take a shot, that was the moment to take it. 2nd and inches. The risk was, fairly low, even though that was almost intercepted. But now on 3rd and inches, the important thing is getting the first down, so I will run it.
2 tight ends on a wing. They'll get to Allure, cuts back in the middle, gets the first down to the 12-yard line. So that's good enough for a first down to move the chain. And
simply put, Salt Lake just has more people than New Orleans up front. So, considering how dominant this offensive line can be, it's a tough ask for New Orleans.
This is a New Orleans defense that rushing gives up 107 yards per game to their opponent. Well, they average 154 themselves. And speaking of the Claws, the only notable player for them is at the cornerback position is Jack Toulouse, number 22.
Yeah, and he will have his hands full if, we haven't seen enough on this drive. This secondary, they'll have to play a hell of a game if they want to win because, again, the offensive line of Salt Lake is playing well early.
This is a Salt Lake club that averages almost 140 rushing yards a game. Oh, one-handed catch in the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Hornets. The number 84, I think that's Barker.
And throwing the ball back at the end zone, that's a great throw and an even better catch with the presence of mind to actually have both feet in bounds quite clearly. And Claiborne was in coverage but unable to make the play. And what a first drive here for Salt Lake, getting up 6-0 with the extra point pending.
Victor Ironleg is the kicker. He splits the sticks. 75-yard drive in 2 minutes and 50 seconds. And the first Hugo number off the board is 7, as the Hornets lead 7-0 with 9:10 in the first.
So, for New Orleans, on the road, it's going to be, again, a tough challenge, as we were speaking at the beginning of the broadcast. You were talking about it. Salt Lake hasn't lost a game at home. And for YOUFL and the rest of this New Orleans offense, they have to respond quickly. They cannot allow Salt Lake to go up multiple scores, because, again, the offensive line in this running game can be so powerful for the Hornets. It can really snowball on you if you're not careful.
This is a New Orleans offense that averages coming into the ball game this evening just over 18 points a game, under 54 yards per game on the ground, 173 through the air. And YOUFL, well, he does a lot of passing, but he also does a little bit of running. Let's start off in the shotgun. And number 18 tries to tuck in and run, but a bad idea as Malone came in with the sack. It'll be a loss of 6 back to the 21.
And early, both front lines of the Salt Lake City Hornets winning the battle. Still early on, though, but 2nd and 15 here for New Orleans, and that was, as you said, a bad idea by Lafourche, trying to scramble. There was nothing there.
Is Ray Chapatulis is the back sidecar left slot. On the 2nd and 16, as they send a man in motion, fake the top pass, gives the Chapatulis, nothing doing. Maybe a pickup of 1, but it'll still be a 3rd and long situation, Ramos. As it's just Lafourche and Chapatulis, the notable stars there, but keep an eye out on Cameron Bailey. He's been a key player for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And for New Orleans, you don't have a whole lot of plays for 3rd and 15, so the important thing is not actually putting the ball at risk.
Play action, Lafourche down the middle. Oh! Drop! It would have been enough for a first down, but Bailey, we just talked about him, dropped what could have been a first down.
Oh, man, he almost had it, should have. I don't know if it was deflected at the last second. We're going to get a better look at this right here.
Yes, it was. Harris deflected it away.
Good defensive play on the replay right there. Bailey, you could argue, Colin, still, that's a ball that that's a play that should make as a receiver, but good play by Salt Lake, and then we'll get the ball back in quick succession.
Didn't even have a chance to go over the Salt Lake defense, as it's just 3 plays and out for New Orleans on their first possession. And the return is up to the 35 by Hopkins. 7:45 to go, and Ramos, Jake Carter, he was sharp as a kitchen knife on the opening possession.
Yeah, the entire Salt Lake team was. This offensive line was amazing, and the receivers were catching everything.
And Carter, the throw, a little curl, almost broken out of a tackle. Carter has the first down after the 46 as Barker hauls that in. He caught the touchdown of 7 yards. He now has 2 grabs on the return. Going to be first and 10 at the 46. They go to the bunt side, and sitting underneath and moving forward with the ball will be Alexander West for 10 yards, but they'll mark him just a chest hair shot.
And Carter has played really well, but they're making it easy also for him. Like, receivers are wide open right now.
Good protection again out of an empty set. Oh, another one popped open in the zone, and that'll be a first down. And Carter has hit 7 of his first 8 to begin the ball game.
Another wide open receiver right there, Colin. I mean, it's quite crazy how well Salt Lake schemes their receivers. It was 5 wide on that play, and it's just a dig route. Nobody on defense is there. to make the play.
The Salt Lake team that is 10-2 overall, 8-1 in their conference. The game out in front of Vegas, thrown in the end zone, knocked away. Brilliant defensive play by New Orleans. Sets up a 2nd and 10.
Carter still trying to test that deep ball. That's the second time. Both of them well played by New Orleans.
Here's to get to a lure. He stopped almost immediately. It's like he ran right into Claiborne, the cornerback, and that's a loss of 2. No, that's Brandon setting up at 3rd and 12.
Good containment right there by Brandon on that one, not allowing Lure to get to the edge. Good solid open field tackle, and now it's the 1st, 3rd, and very long here for Salt Lake. I'm expecting at least 4 wide receivers, maybe another empty set with 5 wide here coming up.
Yeah, Carter's been surgical to begin the ball game so far. And they do go 4 wide plus the tight end, Adam West. And Carter is going to throw. Oh, almost caught, but alas, it's the turf. Adam West, the intended receiver, will be 4th and 12. So they'll send out Victor Ironlake to try for 3.
Yeah, it was Toulouse on the coverage. Great job fighting in the jump ball and deflecting that pass away. It's a big play by Jack Toulouse.
Toulouse going up against West, who's 6'4". Impressive play there.
Yep.
And
field goal upcoming here.
This will be marked at the 35. Kick is good. So that's another 2 numbers off the board, as the Hornets now lead it 10-0, thanks to the foot of Victor Ironlake.
Good kick. And another good drive here for Salt Lake. They get a stop on a 3 and out, and then their offense drives pretty much the length of the field, you could say. 33 more on the board, and again, this is exactly what I was saying, a few minutes ago for New Orleans. Not allowing for the game to snowball on you, because you're not going to win too many shootouts against the Hornets, especially here in Salt Lake.
Yeah. They have yet to lose a game at home this season. Both of Salt Lake's losses have come on the road by a combined 6 points, one of which was in overtime to Los Angeles. It's a return up the middle of the field. Nice return up to the 26-yard line is where they'll mark it down. And Risco LaFouche and company, they had a sack on 1st down in their opening drive almost. Let's hope they get a better result here.
Yeah, and they have to kind of also establish some sort of run game, Colin. I mean, they did try to run. It was actually LaFouche who tried to scramble, but, actually make some handoffs and try to run the ball.
-4 total yards on that first drive, and that's a good pass over the middle of Bailey, who was wide open in the slot, and he turns ahead for 16 yards and a 1st down.
Yeah, it was Bailey, the guy who was targeted on that 3rd down on the last drive. Unable to come up with that one, but this one wide open right there sitting in that, curl or stick route. Nobody from Salt Lake in the vicinity, so that's a good read for LaFouche.
It was low but catchable for Bailey as well. Impressive placement there by LaFouche. It'll be a 1st down at the 42. Their own 42. To get to Chapatulas. Chapatulas has room. And explodes ahead for 6 yards.
And down and forth, that's a good start here for New Orleans on this drive. Keep it on 2nd and manageable.
I agree, my friend. Play action. They're going to go moonball down the field. Oh, he got it. I don't know how he did it, but he was like an outfielder running under the ball. 52 yards, and the score as Ashbury hauls it in.
I don't know if I've seen a better throw in the UFL this season than that. The catch was sensational, but the throw was even better. That was a rainbow for about 50 yards into the hand of Osbury, who you could argue was interfered with. I mean, that looks similar, Colin, to the pass from Eli Manning to Odell Beckham 10 years ago. in the NFL, you know, the play that broke Twitter, it looked pretty similar to that in a couple of different aspects.
And it was a 3-play, 74-yard drive. The last 52 of it was covered with that touchdown. So 51 plus is off the board now, as it is now 10-7 the score. And I just can't believe that catch by Ashbury.
What a play! I mean, it has to be the best throw I've seen in the UFL this season. I cannot think of many better than that.
Yeah, there's been a lot of good throws. That has to be up there at the top 3 at least. And it'll be knelt in the end zone. Ball comes out to the 25. And Salt Lake, they were cruising along, and then just bam, one play, and it's now back to a one-score game. It's Jake Carter. It's 7-10 to start this ball game, though.
I have a wing formation here on the shotgun.
Tight splits. They go underneath with a little crossing pattern in West. Adam West knocked out of bounds at the 44. And that's his jersey number. That's his 3rd catch already.
Yeah, that's just the mesh concept. It's pretty easy to read. It's just crossing routes. And just basically whoever is the most open, that's where the ball is going to. And wide open for a lot of yards goes West.
West is a big guy. It takes more than one man to bring him down, but the linebacker was there to slow him up just enough. But alas, the first down was made. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 44. It'll be a draw play to Chris Alert. Nice move in the hole as he jukes up near the 50. Getting a note from the commissioner. West normally averages just over 46 yards per game. He is 69 in the first quarter, so he's already exceeded his entire game production. Alert gets the ball again out of down look. Oh, he's making people's ankles fall off everywhere with 2 moves as it gets down to the 33.
Wow. Again, you know, when this Salt Lake team is cooking, they look pretty unstoppable, and they have all season long. What a move. And again, against the safety. It's quite remarkable. I mean, it's so hard to stop running backs in the open field just anywhere. And with this offensive line, they're just pushing people around.
They go empty, 5 wide, as we're 2:30 and counting to go in the opening stanza. Underneath again to Adam West. And they keep giving them the little tight end. They go underneath and pick up 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 5.
Yeah, and then they found their mismatch. You know, New Orleans seems to be running some man-to-man coverage so far in this game. And it's been West, the tight end, against the linebacker, who's been, you know, favoring of those mismatches, especially in the middle of the field.
West is 6'5", 272. I tell you what, give him a few more giant meals and he could play offensive line for this team. Up the middle, spinning ahead is Hopkins. He has the first down to the 22.
Another first down for the Hornets. I will run it again here on 1st and 10.
They have Adam West lined up as a tight end on the wing. They do run it again to Allure up the middle. Nobody touched him until he was inside the 10 down to the 8.
Really like the draw play right there. I mean, and this is the confidence. When your offensive line, again, when the O-line is cooking like that, you can get excited with run plays. Run inside, outside, draws, toss plays, you know, basically whatever you like. And I think we're due for a play action throw, Colin.
They go one tight end each side. Now they flip the receiver, play action, bootleg, throw to the end zone. Oh, what a catch, touchdown! Oh, you called it, my man. Play action, and it was easy as they go to Neely for the score.
Wow, unbelievable. Again, another catch back at the end zone with one hand. I mean, the quality of plays that we've seen here in the first quarter, unbelievable. It's still the first quarter. The quality of plays have been awesome.
And Iron Leg's extra point is up and good. So with 41 seconds left, it is now 17-7 Salt Lake in front. And I know the Claws had a really good opening drive, Ramos, but it's starting to turn into one of those track meet type of games.
It is, and that's not good news for New Orleans, Colin. I mean, that's not the game that New Orleans wants to play. You know, they can put points on the board, don't get me wrong, but again, when you go on the road against a team that, you know, is again maybe the best team in the UFL, you know, you don't want it to be a track meet. You want it to keep it close and tight and frustrate Salt Lake. And so far, the Hornets offensively have been flying.
Iron Leg kicks it away. Fielded from the goal line up across the 10 to the 20. Cuts inside and will be marked down at the 26. That's where the Claws will begin. Marsh on the return. And Whiska Lafouche back on the field. He had a 50-plus yard touchdown bomb to put his team on the board. Pretty consistent drive. It's first and 10. Here's Papatoulis to single back. Gets it through the hole and gets up to the 30. That'll be marked down. And Ramos, you've already seen Joe Malone introduce himself, but there are plenty of bad dudes on all levels of the defense.
Yeah.
Jaquarius Locke is a scary, scary man.
Yeah, the secondary as a whole, there's been a huge reason why Salt Lake has won 10 games this season. You know, it's really, really hard to pass on the Hornets.
See if they get the snap off before the quarter. They will not. What a spectacular play, 17-7. Salt Lake out in front of New Orleans. Back here on the Virtual Football Network, I'm Colin Northrop alongside Ramos Lynn. It'll be a 2nd and 5. Chapatoulis, nice stiff arm. Gets past the 40, marked down at the 42, and that'll be a first down.
Nice job by Chapatoulis breaking that tackle and getting some extra yardage. Good job by the O-line also getting to the second level and pushing the linebackers.
Got to give a shout out to the tight end pulling off one of those old school wham blocks. Ramos, that's not easy. Ashbury with a good block on the perimeter as well. 1st and 10 at the 42. Lafouche in the gun. He's back to throw. Staring on a blitz. Fires. Completes to Bailey. And the Western Michigan Bronco is up across the 45 to the 46.
Another good throw by Lafouche, who's finally getting some rhythm. You know, he was a little bit shaky at the start, but now over the last couple of drives, he's looked pretty good.
There's Lafouche back to throw again. Underneath on the lane cut. That's a good play on first down up to the 39.
2nd and 3. I'll hand the ball off here, Colin. Even though you have 4 receivers, I'll hand the ball off. Some inside zone here.
They do get off the Chapatoulis. Has the first down. Oh! No, the Jets. Chapatoulis down inside the 5 at the 40.
It's a great opening right there on the right-hand side. Guard, tackle, and both receivers doing a really good job on that right-hand side. I mean, it's so good. One of the offensive linemen doesn't have anybody to block until he gets to the 2nd and 3rd level. So that's the mark of a great run.
Got to give shout out to Brandon Worley hustling downfield. The 2nd team tight end as they bring in a 3rd now, just a single receiver. Gives it a backup Cooper, and he's stopped at the 5 for a loss of 3.
Well, that was 2nd and goal from the 5, so a little bit more challenging from that standpoint.
Just an unblocked defender, Ramos. Tight end picked the wrong guy.
Yeah, just unblocked. And sometimes you leave guys like that by design, but I think the execution was a little bit slow on that one.
They go 3 wide receivers from the gun on 2nd and goal. Here's the give out to Cooper. No, that Scott rather stopped for no gain. And just like that, it's 3rd and goal.
Third and goal at the 5, and you don't want to, you know, throw the ball into tight coverage. It's man-to-man, looks like. Maybe crossing routes here.
Fuchs tucks it himself, and that's not going to get very far. Mariano with the sack. They're going to call a loss and one back to the 6. So the Claws will salvage some points here in the red zone, but it'll be 3.
Yeah, and, you know, Salt Lake has done a really good job of, you know, making sure they can cover and also protect the inside run by Lafourche. I mean, they have like a spy on the middle of the field, and he's not been able to go anywhere.
This will be a field goal attempt by Brenton. It's up and good. So it is 17-10 with 8:05 to go in the first half. Week 14 concludes Wednesday with a showdown in the Southwest Division of epic proportions. The 6-6 Austin Lone Stars battle the 6-6 Houston Herd in H-Town at Primetime at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Game night includes Cleveland, Chicago, Washington, Milwaukee, and Los Angeles, Fresno, all kicking off at 7 p.m. Eastern. UFL lives here on VFN as more Yugo numbers come off the board.
Hey, gonna keep for Salt Lake. Now they will get the ball again. I think the thing that has helped them a lot is their balance. They run the ball, they pass the ball, and they've done it from all areas of the field here.
And they've spread it out a lot to various people. Although that man, number 44, Adam West, has been getting an unusually heavy workload for the big tight end right from the jump, Robert.
Yep, absolutely.
And let's see what Carter and company elect to do here. 188 total yards of offense so far. For the Hornets, it'll be a Carter throw. He'll dump it off for no gain. It'll be second down.
Decent start here for the New Orleans defense, and kudos to New Orleans after being down 10-0. They've, you know, played good football offensively. You know, one stop, and, you know, they're just a one score away.
Hopkins tried to cut it back. Got 2 out of it, but that sort of looked disjointed, setting up a 3rd and 8.
There's a big down here. And even though it's early in the game, you know, it's all about momentum at this point. We haven't seen from West in a bit, so I think that's the player New Orleans has to key on West.
They'll go 5 wide out of the shotgun. No blitz, they don't come with it. They go underneath, and then it'll be a first down. Easy pitch and catch. Chris Allure split out wide, makes the reception.
He's been great. You know, Chris Allure on the run and on the air, he's been awesome. It's just a curl route, past the sticks. Perfect execution on that one.
So loose on the tackle there. It'll be first down from the 38. 6:47 and counting. Go Carter back to throw. Carter throws complete. That is Adam West, holds it in, and that'll be a first down to the 48.
Racking up those first downs. Salt Lake has been awesome on the early downs as well.
I agree, Ramos. They've been very efficient. As it's another first down. They'll throw underneath. Oh! The tight end making something out of it. Broke 2 people through the tackle, and only a first down. Oh, about that.
It's a great play by Hill. You know, this team is so deep on the receiving core. I mean, the number 2 tight end eluding a eluding a tackle, and then breaking another one. And
he's unclaimed. He is available to be claimed. That's the crazy thing. If you want to claim a guy like him, go to UFL.football for details on how you can get into all the action. The first down. Carter. He'll take off and run himself, but he won't get very far. Sack made for a loss of 1 back to the 34.
Second and 11. That's a good. The first time really we see good pressure. The last one had good pressure, but finally getting to the quarterback and making the hit for a sack. Nobody opened down the field, and Quentin Fletcher, good job recognizing that the quarterback was scrambling and getting the hit for a loss.
Of course, playoff picture in the West was shuffled a little bit thanks to game nights. As San Jose now slides into the 8th spot. And with Portland, Los Angeles, and Vegas are all the wild card spots. Salt Lake, the division leader, 10-2. San Diego right behind them at 10-3. Followed by Dakota and then Austin. But of course, Houston will play the Lone Stars on Wednesday. Throw down the field. Catch made. Oh, out of bounds, they say. Oh, it's the lure. Almost had it, but the officials say he was out of bounds.
Well, we'd like to see another replay on that one. We'll get the replay right here. That's a wheel route.
Up the side. Ooh.
I think he is out of bounds, Colin, just by a little bit.
And that's the kind of play that goes to my father's point of the wheel route being almost indefensible if you run it from the halfback position. Iron Leg will be on for another field goal, and it splits the sticks. It's now 20 and with 4:13 left.
Again, you know, New Orleans scores and Salt Lake quickly answers. And again, it's first was like a 10-point lead, and then it was a 3-point lead, back to a 10-point lead. New Orleans makes it 7. Now Salt Lake brings it back to 10 points. So, you know, the fact that the Hornets have been able to answer after every New Orleans score is very impressive, and is keeping an arm's length between them and the opposition.
I agree, but New Orleans, they've had their moments, and they need to answer again. Lafush has been efficient. Ray Chapatulas, after a slow start on that opening possession, has found some running lanes through that front 4 of the Hornets, and they'll start from their own 25 as Marsh down for the touchdown.
4:13 left. I mean, plenty of time, of course, for New Orleans to put some points on the board and, you know, get potentially to the half, down only 1 score.
No reason for them to panic. 137 total yards of offense. This is 6 on the ground. Here to give out the Chapatulas, looking to add to that total, and turns ahead for a pickup of 3 yards, according right down by Malone. 2nd and 7, Lafush. 2 receivers to the bottom of the screen. He'll take off and run. He does this so well, gets a block from his running back and carries people down to the 44, 17 yards on the run.
Finally, Lafush able to get some space right there, middle of the line. Line opens up and gets 17 yards. A good decision by YOUFL Lafush.
Didn't see anything he liked up and downfield. Broke off a few tackles. Now he's involved. You get a bunch of... Oh, we get a flag. Looks like somebody moved early, Rama.
Yep.
We're going to call the left tackle there for a full start. Back him up 5 yards from 39. 1st and 15 following the penalty. Going to be a Lafush pass to the sideline. Bailey holds it in. They get it out to the 47. They get about half of it back, making it 2nd and 7.
Good job just getting half of it.
They got 2 tight ends on the wing. Tight splits. They're going to throw again. Lafush will kick off and run, slides down, just over the midfield stripe. Pick up a 2, setting up a 3rd and 4.
Well, it's 3rd and manageable. From 1st and 15 to 3rd and manageable is not too bad.
And they won't get it up before the 2-minute warning. Orleans down by 2 touchdowns. With a cut into this deficit. They have a 3rd down and 4 from the midfield stripe. Quick drop. Throws the outcut.
That's close.
Did he get it? No! They say the yard short. Marsh on the reception. But he was echoed just yard short, Ramos.
I think it's worth at least a booth review, Colin. It's certainly close.
That's
not a good angle, but
back to get it. Ooh, you're right. It was close.
Ooh.
And the booth does not buzz down and take a look at it. We play on and it'll be a punt. That's got to be a killer for the Claws as this punt will fly out of bounds to be marked at the 15.
So now it's Salt Lake. I mean, considering again how potent this offense can be, I don't think they will just stay conservative. I think they will actually push the ball downfield.
I agree, my friend. Throw to the side. Oh, knocked away from the receiver. Incomplete. One of a handful of times we've seen the ball hit the ground. It'll be 2nd and 10 as the clock stops at 1:18. Going to be 4 wide. Carter. Throw. Curl out underneath. West again. Setting up a 3rd and 3, Rob.
Yeah, 3rd and 3. You want to use a little bit of the clock, just to not leave New Orleans with a minute left. If you fail this.
A motion alert out of the backfield. Carter now all by himself. They're going to throw. Underneath.
Nope.
Doesn't get there, and the Claws now call a timeout to preserve a little clock.
Yeah, they do, and I like that from New Orleans. You still have 2 timeouts. If you can get a good return, or if Salt Lake shanks a punt, I mean, you still have an opportunity to get the ball in field goal range at least and put some points on the board.
21 passes to 9 runs so far for the Hornets this evening. Punt is away. It's a really good one. Backs them up to about the 20, and they'll mark it at the 24. So 40 seconds, 2 timeouts for the Claws to work with, Ramos. And they need points if they want momentum to go into the locker room.
Yeah, this is not great field position, but I think this first play will determine the rest of the drive.
They go punch to the bottom. They go to that side. Marsh! Middle of the field, and they call timeout with 35 seconds left.
Yeah, so you get 8. You make it a 2nd and manageable. I think New Orleans will continue to throw the ball, kind of intermediate in between like 10 to 15, 20 yards, and try to get yards after the catch. Kind of like the goal here is to get to midfield on this play.
2nd and 2 as Lafush is exactly the century mark. They get the Chapatoulas, get the first down, but now hurry up.
Yeah, no, kind of surprising, but
now they hustle up to the line of scrimmage. 17 and counting. And they'll give the Chapatoulas again, hoping they can pop a big run, and I think New Orleans will be content to be down. Oh, timeout called. For the 2nd and 11, New Orleans called their final timeout with 5 seconds left.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you want to give the ball again to your running back, see if they can break out for another one. But no, they go in shotgun, so they will try to make one more throw.
There go Lafush. As all they has to dump it down to Chapatoulas, and that'll be the end of the first half. 8 for 9 was Whisker LaFouche in that first half, but his team is down. Minus scored 20-10. Ramos, your thoughts on that first half?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously Salt Lake playing really well on both sides, but impressed also with New Orleans and how they've been able to keep it, competitive and keep it close. Again, Salt Lake, arguably the best team in the league. New Orleans has played really well, especially over the last couple of weeks. And this is a big test for the Claws because, the Claws' biggest win so far this season is Milwaukee, which is, has a 500 record, excuse me. So this is one of the biggest challenges for them so far this year, and they played well. They just need to have a strong second half.
It'll definitely boost their chances. Let's throw out the league right. This is the UFL.
This presentation of the UFL is intended for the private use of our audience. Any accounts or descriptions of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
As New Orleans will start with possession, we want to bring in UFL co-founder Cameron Irvine to talk about that end of first half sequence. Cam?
This is one of the hardest things to code correctly because you need multiple steps. For those that don't know, we totally recode situational AI here in the UFL so that we get it as best as it can be. But here's what you're seeing. There's 3 different levels to what happened at the end of the first half. The first is, where is the give-up zone? That code has been changed to the 20. So when New Orleans when New Orleans completes that first pass, they take that timeout because they're beyond the 20, and so they are predisposed to say we're going to stay aggressive. But because they only have 1 timeout left, that also dictates whether or not they'll be aggressive or not. So at the 34-yard line with only 1 timeout with the time they had remaining, that line of code says, well, you wouldn't really get aggressive in that area, and so they just run 2 times. Well, they called the last timeout because it says if you're on a certain part of the field beyond the 30 or 35, let's say, nice first down there, then you're going to try to throw a deep ball down the field and get something out of the last play of the first half. And so when situational AI is at its best, all 3 of those areas are talking to each other. They all agree. In that case, they didn't really agree, and those are the type of areas that we can improve on moving forward. But that's why at the end of the first half and at the end of a game, it's so difficult because you have multiple areas of code that are firing one play after the other, and they all have to make sense with each other. So long explanation there, but that's exactly what you saw at the end of that first half.
Thank you very much, Cam. Impressive stuff. Meanwhile, Ray Chapatulis popped up a big run to the Claws 49-yard line and set him up with another move of the chains. Ashbury with the catch before that as you see Chapatulis motion out. No! They ran out of time on the play clock. Almost operational error there.
Yeah, no, and again, Colin, these are the mistakes that you cannot make. Those are 3 yards that New Orleans is giving Salt Lake, and maybe you can get away with it once, but if you constantly do it, if you get penalized a lot, you're not gonna win many ball games.
I know saying all of the words you need to say in the huddle can be hard sometimes, but it was just a few seconds too long, and now it's 2nd and 15.
It's just a tough ask. At least what you want here is to at least get about 8 here. Get half of it.
I agree. That would be the ideal situation as they motion the other back out. Cooper. Oh, and it's a delay of game again. Maybe they have to examine that part of the playbook as they'll back him up 5 more yards.
Maybe the center is not quite listening. Maybe they have to go with silent count or something, and because they cannot continue. Again, they cannot continue to make these mistakes. 2nd and 20 is a nightmare here for New Orleans.
They line up with 3 tight ends. They give off to Cooper. Nice run out of bounds of the 46, but it's 3rd and 13.
And this time they went under center, so it's like, again, that silent count, just make sure the center is listening to you.
Now they go from the gun again. LaFouche gets it with 7 on the play clock. Now he has to take off and run. He has a long way to go, but he only gets up to the 49, which is where they originally were before the drive sort of bogged down. Harris on the tackle, and if you're a supporter of the guys in the 2 shades of red, you got to be a little disappointed.
Yeah, no, absolutely. This a bad start here for New Orleans offensively for the third quarter, sadly. And they'll have to give the ball right to the Hornets.
And this punt, down inside the 5 at the 3. Springer will pin the Hornets back inside their own 5. Great punt.
It's an awesome punt right there. In the UFL, whenever it gets touched, that's where the ball will start. So it got touched at about the 4-yard line. That's where the offense for Salt Lake will come into the field.
Chris Alori hasn't touched the ball a lot on the ground, but you have to figure he'll get it here. 6 carries in that first half, good average. Just over 8 yards a carry. They go with Hopkins to start, and he gets out across to the 10. It'll be 2nd and 4.
It's a good start, good first play here for Salt Lake, especially when you're backed up inside your own 5.
This is important, as when you're on the other team's 10 as the call route underneath. That's a first down, and guess who? It's Adam West.
Yeah, in Adam West in the first half, 8 on those plays. Middle of the field, the linebackers have been unable to cover him.
Cameron Irvine passing a note along that says this is sitting here, and Salt Lake is one of the loudest in the league. So perhaps you were right, Rollins, when you said the center might have had trouble hearing the cadence from LaFouche on the previous possession. It's incomplete, 2nd and 10. They'll throw a ball screen out, and that's all sorts of discombobulated. It'll actually go down as a run to Neely, who lost 2 yards back to the 15.
This, again, the opportunity for New Orleans. They need to put pressure on the quarterback. I don't think, just rushing 3 and covering with 8 is the play here. I think you need to send some pressure, as Neely just shook off a defender, but the New Orleans defense was right there to make the tackle for a loss.
I mean, good on Carter. That was a called run to Allure, I think, and he just saw an opportunity out there with the corner play off, but didn't pay off for him. He's back to throw this time. Fires! Oh, what a catch! Out of bounds at the 41. Adam West is being unstoppable.
Wow. What a play. And again, it's basically what I was saying. I don't think, just rushing with 3 or 4, is the play here. I think you need to put some serious pressure on the quarterback, and they didn't. And, Salt Lake made them pay.
Oh! It looked like, they're going to call false start on Salt Lake. As the lawyer was the one who jumped, back him up 5 yards. It'll be 1st and 15. They'll motion him out of the backfield. Carter gets the snap, throws underneath, catch made. And turning upfield to the 42. They're actually going to say it was completed, but no yards gained. 2nd and 5 yards gained, 2nd and 10.
Well, at least they got it back. They got the yardage back, and now they're back to square one. 2nd and 10 is not the worst thing to be, the worst position to be at. So New Orleans, they have to make a big play on defense. It just feels like, Colin, for them to be able to come back and win this game, even though we still have a quarter and a half. It seems like they need some sort of interception, fumble recovery or something.
And the throw is complete underneath, but nice tackling the ball on Hill to set up a 3rd and 4, his 2nd grab of the evening. As we approach 5.5 minutes to go in the quarter. This is a 3rd and 4.
I think crossing routes here.
They go to the outside. West has the first down. So just when you think they're going to go underneath over the middle of the field, they go outside, Ramos, and that was enough to cross up New Orleans.
Yeah, now 9 grabs for over 130 yards for West. And again, they've been trying to get him on one-on-one coverage, either against the safety right there or a linebacker, and it's just not working out.
That was Livingston, the corner up there. This year man out of Ohio State. Trying to bring down the big Danny. It's over! 2 more jukes in the open field. As he's now up to 60 yards and 7 out to the rock. And he has another first down to the 36.
Yeah, Salt Lake hasn't run the ball a whole lot, and that's keeping Allure fresh for the second half. A couple of nasty moves. And getting well past the markers for a first down as well.
6 foot 206, 6-year man out of Alabama. Definitely has the quick feet and the moves to make things happen. It'll be 1st and 10. 3 tight ends on the field for the Hornets. They will play action bootleg to Allure. Carter doesn't find anybody open, so he'll run himself and slide down just past the 30, picking up 6.
Carter, not the fastest quarterback in the UFL, but still some decent legs to scramble and get some positive yards. That's a good run, and that's a good decision. 6-yard gain, make it a 2nd and 4 into field goal range.
As you get to Allure, explodes for the hole. Past the 20, just shy of 15 at the 17. He's up to 73 yards. He just has this burst when he gets the ball, Ramos.
Yeah, he does. And you call it. Whenever he gets parallel to the line of scrimmage, he just gets a burst of speed, and it's very hard to stop him because you also have to account for the passing game. So that makes the running game even more dangerous.
Play action bootleg again. This time they'll go underneath the West and better defended that time, limiting the gain to only a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9. From the gun, this is 3 wide. 2 to the top of the screen, 1 to the bottom is Neely. No motion. The guy down. Get to Allure on a little sweep, and New Orleans read it like a book. Stopping it for just 1.
Yep, really good play right there by New Orleans on the containment, not getting not getting caught outside.
Didn't let the motion before the snap distract their eyes. As Carter will throw to the side. Oh, man, open. Out of bounds inside the 5 to the 4. That is DJ Barker.
And kudos to this offensive line. I mean, New Orleans sent pressure that time, and still nobody got even close.
Yeah, got to give it that.
Yeah, when you have that, you have man-to-man coverage across the board, and you're not going to be able to cover these receivers for a long time, that's for sure.
1st and goal from the 4, 1:23 and counting to go in the quarter. This has been a very methodical drive by Salt Lake, and they paid off at a touchdown. Carter has to scramble out of there, and he finds the end zone. Touchdown, Salt Lake.
Again, maybe not the fastest quarterback in the league, but when he runs, he makes good decisions. Barely eludes a tackle right there and scampers into the end zone for a touchdown, and now Salt Lake has the biggest lead of the night. Gonna be 17 points.
He just saw the opening and he took off. And it will be pending the extra point by Victor Ryerleg. 27-10 the score. 15 plays, 7 minutes and 12 seconds taken off the clock. 90 yards covered. And Jay Carter had 2 scrambles on that drive and 1 ended in the end zone for the touchdown. see the numbers now off the board. We're 4 and 27. With 1:12 to go in the third. For UFL schedule, standing stats, rankings, and more, visit the league website at UFL.football. Claim your player today. You can help your favorite team succeed there too by just being a fan and declaring your fandom. UFL.football. Official home of everything UFL. Kickoff is away, and boy, New Orleans must feel like Bill Murray in Groundhog Day, Ramos. The hole has gotten even deeper.
Set up, 18 Gator. You must be dreaming. Way to go. Snap.
Here's LaFouche. Gives off the top of Tulis. Nice first down carry up to the 38.
You know, you can still run it a little bit, Colin, but, you know, eventually you have to push the ball downfield now. You know, it's okay if you run it on first down. Maybe, you know, you get a decent chunk right there. You really need to, you know, obviously you need to score 3 times. So you need to score one, at least the first time here, as quickly as you possibly can.
LaFouche. Oh, that's not going to help matters as one of the guards. A little too eager to pop out of his stance. Back him up 5, and deja vu for New Orleans to at least on that first down as Jalpatulis is now to 93 yards and just 13 chunks of the ball. As it sets up a 2nd and 11. He starts the end of the third. Throw out to Bailey, and he is stopped at the 38. That'll be the end of the third. 27-10 our score. Hornets out in front over the Claws. Colin Northrop, Ramos Flint. Broadcast team for this primetime game. Mr. LaFouche back to throw. Oh, incomplete on 3rd and 10 right at the feet of the defender. And you can tell the Claws have been deflated here, Ramos.
Yeah, that was LaFouche's worst throw of the night for sure. I mean, right in the hands of the DB. That's why they play DB, but you have to come away with it. And now 4th and 10, and New Orleans will go for it. Down 3
really
scores.
No choice at this juncture. As LaFouche throws up another moon ball. This worked at a first up and almost in there. Oh, man, they almost had it in his hands, but alas, it was knocked away.
Very close. You know, it's good to give your player a chance, but I don't know. You know, the Salt Lake defender had good position on that one.
It'll be first down. It's Allure up the middle. Gets to the 30. He's up to 82 on just 10 touches of the ball. That's an 8-yard pickup. This will be 2nd and 2. We'll bring in the second tight end. That is Hill on the wing along with West on the other side. No one play action off of it. Carter down the field. Catch made. A touchdown. Alexander West on the reception. He's like, Adam has been so involved. Let me get in on this fun.
I mean, another great throw. That's a great route and another great throw. And when you have a lead, Colin, I mean, play calling just becomes much easier to do. Because obviously, New Orleans is probably thinking, hey, you know, they maybe just want to try to run out the clock. And they just come out and throw the ball deep and basically put the game out of reach.
With 11-12 to go, it is now officially 34-10. 12 helmets down, 20 to go. Check out Green Gridiron Social to see the unboxing of full-size UFL replica helmets. They make it so real, and so do all of you. For more info on all the amazing products Green Gridiron has to offer, visit greengridiron.com. And Ramos, as far as helmets go, these two teams are right in my top 10.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Really like them. I mean, you cannot go wrong with, you know, black, yellow. That's a great combination for Salt Lake.
And for New Orleans,
The logo, I really like for New Orleans.
the two-tone red, I think, is really unique. You see a lot of
it is.
two-tone blues, but not very many other colors. Maybe some greens, but definitely not red, as Marshall turns it up for the 26.
Yeah, I mean, for New Orleans right now, obviously, it's a touchdown, and you need to make 2-point conversions right now. You know, down 24 with 11 minutes left in regulation. You know, you got to make 8-point scores.
Ready up.
So, they have to score on every possession now, though.
Get it. Hey.
Here's LaFouche. He's going to throw. Tries to take off and run. And they say he'll gain 1 yard.
What a great play by the interior D line of Salt Lake. That could have gone for a lot of yardage for LaFouche.
Yeah, he's definitely a dangerous runner. Number 10 back there, throw underneath the Kapatulis. He's good. It'll be 3rd and 2.
30 left here in the 4th, and they will again try to put the no huddle here.
Biggie Turner saying he needs an 11 and 3 for a win.
Oh,
As
he got
Lars called it in at the 45. How did he catch that?
Well, that's an amazing catch. It's a good throw, but even a better catch. Almost criminal. We're not going to get a replay.
He was almost parallel to the ground when he dove for the ball. Kapatulis catches it underneath. There's a check down. The Foosh has been efficient, 159 yards. Had the 1 touchdown. Get to a 2nd and 6. They continue to mash go. And the Foosh trying to take off, but he can't. Craig sacks him this time. Back at the 44.
What a play by Craig, the big guy, getting LaFouche and tackling him for a loss.
Just relentless hustle and effort there from his nose tackle position. LaFouche throws high and incomplete. Looking for the tight end who wanted a flag, but the officials didn't oblige.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's a flag. We're going to take a look at it on the replay this time. I think that's well contested by both offensive and defensive play. Maybe right there.
Front of the safety man. Ooh, he almost had it, but alas, did not survive the ground.
Hey, maybe the receiver had an argument for that one.
The receiver stuck top. LaFouche, he's going to throw to that side. Oh, incomplete.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Salt Lake just double covered the right guy on that one. And I never had a chance.
It was a well-placed ball, but alas, the Claws are turned away at their 44. Another look at it again. Aaron Willis, the man credited with the deflection, number 30. Coverage there on Brady 5. This is Melko Drake, the 4th wide receiver in the depth chart. Jake Carter, really efficient night. 23 of 30, 277, 2 passing touchdowns, and 1 rushing touchdown. War. Wrapping both hands around the ball, but still zooming down the field. He's up over 100 yards with that carry.
Yeah, I mean, it's just highways here for Allure, who is blazing fast. He's so
Might
quick.
have to call him the Roadrunner running backs, Ramos. He, like I said earlier, he just has that explosive first step as soon as he gets the ball from Carter.
Here we go. Tight right. We got 3. We got
It'll be 1st and 10. 8:45 and counting. They fake the little toss. They give to Hopkins up the middle. No, that's a lure again. And that's 5 yards.
It's just like in 3 steps, he's gained 5 yards. It's quite remarkable.
Now they go I formation. Get to Hopkins. Is a big hole. First, it's carried down to the 22.
Yeah, now Salt Lake is really flexing their muscles right here. The New Orleans defense is tired. They've been on the field for a whole lot here in the second half, and there's just not a lot of stamina left.
This is going to be the 51st offensive play for Salt Lake. It'll be because the low up the middle. Nobody touched him. Touchdown, Hornets. That's crazy. Nobody touched him.
And that's, again, a highway right there. You could have put me and probably gotten 10 yards on that. I'm going to give myself some credit. I'll say 10.
It is now 40 to 10. Now 41 to 10. 7:35 to go. As that was a quick 56-yard drive, taking only a minute 43 off the clock. $41 now off the board. Still some time for perhaps the Yugo.
And this is just, something that, a team like Salt Lake can do. This game was really competitive in the first half. At one point, it was 17 to 10. We got to the halftime, it was 20 to 10. And I even said it was like, New Orleans has kept it close. They're keeping themselves in the game, and all of a sudden Salt Lake has made it, is making it look like, we're looking at a pro team against a junior varsity team.
Marsh downs it in the end zone. 5 minutes to go in the second. It was 17 to 10, and now it's 40 to 10. Whisker LaFouche, statistically, he may be great, but it's just too much for the guys in yellow. Receiver. Green pass out to top of Toulis as blocks. Picked about 9.5 yards on the screen.
And right now, maybe, for New Orleans, you just, keep more of a vanilla playbook at this point. Think about next week.
Nash go on the gas pedal as LaFouche tried to get the first down himself, but he's sacked again by Marion.
They've been all over that. I mean, outside of one run, well, probably 2 runs, one was for 17 yards. LaFouche has been just clobbered on those runs.
Back to throw, LaFouche down the field. Oh, incomplete. He was going for the whole ball of wax to Marsh, but Marsh couldn't hang on, and it's 4th and 1.
I mean, that's, again, hitting the receiver in the hands. You have to come up with it. And I know he got, hit pretty hard, but you have to come away with that catch.
It'll be 4th and 1 in the claws. They had so much promise coming in with that 6 and 6 mark. This was going to be their biggest test of the year, and New Orleans is waving a white flag because they are down by more than 24 points. So they elected punt. And the return gets up to the 28. And the offense comes back on the field for the Hornets. Please like and comment on this video to help the UFL reach more people. As we round the back 9 of the regular season, the race for the playoffs is about to speed up. We want everyone to see what we're building. Thank you for your continued support in the inaugural UFL season. Hopkins takes the first down run out to the 43 as Salt Lake is closing in on 500 yards.
Yeah, closing in also on securing the number 1 spot in the Western Conference. So again, for New Orleans, you were competitive in the first half. I think this is a team that has been in the open up over the last couple of weeks. Their season's still not over by any means, but, they just ran into a better team.
Last 3 games for New Orleans, who currently sit at 6-7, coming, who will drop to 6-7 after this game. They will travel to Daytona Beach to take on the Florida Sharks. The 4-9. Fresno 6-6. Charlotte 5-8. In which they will play at Charlotte to end the regular season. So, there are some winnable games in that stretch, Ramos. The offense can do some interesting things.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. We look at the last 3 games for Salt Lake, as well as San Jose, Albuquerque, and Vegas. The first 2 going on the road and getting Vegas at home.
Vegas, that'll be a tough out for Salt Lake. Certainly a much improved Devils team from when they started the season. Of course, San Jose, they got a supercharge out of the blue when Nate Hall got traded to them from the Denver Avengers. That was a crazy game earlier this evening. It'll be 3rd and 11 now. Jack Toulouse on the tackle for loss.
Yeah, that's all obviously Salt Lake wants. They just want to run out the clock. The job is done. They've proved their point, and it's just getting out of there healthy.
Okay, break. 57, Mike 57. You ain't got nothing. You ain't got
It'll be interesting to see how this affects the Eastern standing with New Orleans result here this evening, as that pass is incomplete on the sideline. Be 4th and 11.
4th and 11, pass incomplete. They will punt the ball away, give it back to New Orleans. And shout out to the defense for Salt Lake, really. We were talking a whole lot about the offense, about West and Allure, but shout out to this defense. Just blanking New Orleans here in the second half. Oh, that's a great punt, too.
Unlucky. It looked like it was going to stick around maybe the goal line or the 1, but alas, it took an extra hop. And Whisker Lafouche back out for yet another series. They'll start 1st and 10 from the 32. Back to throw, another screen. Out to Chapatulis, who has blocks, tries to make a move. Oh, broken tackle, but shoved out of bounds at the 31.
Job. I mean, good move right there by Chapatulis. He's been kind of like the only bright spot, really, of the second half offensively for New Orleans. He's had a couple of good runs.
And a couple good receptions like that. And here's another one. Oh, we got yanked down by the face. And the referee says, no doubt about that one. Tack on some more yards to that. Mariano, the backer, called for the infraction. And that'll advance the ball way down the field.
Here we go. 8 reads.
To the 48 is where they'll mark it. 3:20 to go. Clock stopped. We'll push back to throw again. Underneath this time to Bailey on the curl. Hangs on despite the hit to the 32. First down, New Orleans.
Nice decision. Good route by Bailey. Right there on the curl route. 5 for 54. I think, New Orleans probably tried to get him involved a little bit more in the game, and they just couldn't.
Here's the push. Oh, he tried to go bottom side, but it was just a bit in front of the intended target. Second down from the 32.
That was wide open, too. That was a touchdown if the ball is on point.
Here's Chapatulis in motion. He gets set. Lafouche goes underneath to the tight end on the little crossing pattern. And that'll set up a 3rd and 2. As New Orleans crosses 200 yards, passing for the game, Worley on them.
Jackrabbit, let's go. 53's the mic, 53, check 53.
4 receivers.
Ready.
Trip to the top of the screen. LaFouche gonna fire down the middle of Marsh. Touchdown, Claw.
It's a good throw. That's one of the best throws, probably the best throw since the moon ball for LaFouche. Right there, middle of the field, up the seam, connecting with his receiver right in the numbers.
Oh, correction, that was Zach Walker, the tight end, number 86. 6'7", 263. Nice route by the big fella.
A really nice route, and that was man-to-man coverage against the linebacker, and especially on a long route, linebackers really don't have much of a chance most of the time against a tight end.
The extra point is good, so that was the 75-yard drive. Minute 3 seconds taken off the clock. 41-17. That pass was good for 25 yards. 17 has already been called. And the Claws have certainly felt the sting of these Hornets this evening, Ramos.
Yeah, and so has the rest of the Claws, especially in the second half. It's just been a complete team performance for Salt Lake, and they've done it every which way, Colin. They've put pressure on the quarterback. They've gotten hits on LaFouche. They've run the ball. They've passed the ball to the tight ends, to the running backs, to the receivers. Defensively, they've done a really good job. Stopping the run too.
That's a kick. And it's covered by Salt Lake.
Yep. New Orleans still with 3 timeouts. Obviously, they'll be forced to call all of them if they want to, still fight in this game. And for Salt Lake, it's just a matter of getting one more first down.
And Chris Allure, 135 total yards today.
56, right there, 56. Hey, let's get this,
Clock will stop once. We reached the 2-minute warning, but because the Claws are down by 16 points, according to our AI expert Cameron Irvine, they will not use the timeout for New Orleans. We reached the 2-minute warning. 41-17. Hornets in firm control, looking to put the finishing touches on what has been a dominant performance in prime time. Get to Chris Allure, wrapping both hands around the ball, and Allure. Tackled at the 35, he's up to 145. They really leaned on him in this second half almost, after he had just 6 carries in the first half.
Yeah. Yeah, and Salt Lake, has understood the assignment extremely well. In the first half, they used a lot of the Wests, and then in the second half, now that they got the lead, been a lot of runs.
Allure up the middle, will be stopped at the 31. Black continues to run down, and Claws, they have to go across the country to Daytona Beach from Salt Lake. For their next game, and for the Hornets, it'll just be a short flight over to California to take on the YOUFL. It'll most likely be next to last play, run by Salt Lake. It'll be a Chris Allure carry, and he will be stopped 1 yard short, and that'll do it. 41-17. Final score as the Salt Lake Hornets were almost win. Show why they are the absolute best team in the UFL, the inaugural.
Yeah, they did everything right. Again, passing the ball, they were amazing. Running the ball, just sensational. The offensive line did a great job from the very first snap of the game. Jay Carter keeping it clean, 277, 3 touchdowns, no picks. and Salt Lake City now has clinched a playoff spot. They're the first team to do so, so we'll see the Hornets in the playoffs, and you have to think they're in the short list of contenders in the UFL to get the title.
I have to agree with you there, my friend. It's dominant all-around performance. 211 on the ground, close to 8 yards per play. Just all-around excellence from the Hornets this evening. For New Orleans, they had their moments, but alas, it was just too much Jay Carter and company. For myself, Colin Northrup, UFL co-founder Cameron Irvine, and my analyst for this evening, Ramos Lynn, thank you all, and good night.